For me, I have this amazing privilege in the job that I do, and I get to ask hundreds of questions to thousands of Canadians every week on issues ranging from how they feel about their relationships, to work, to what they're buying, and something I'm particularly passionate about, which is how all those things connect to how they feel about politics and public policy. And so I'm here today to give you just a brief introduction into the world that I see through the eyes of Canadians and really people from around the world who are experiencing a situation that many of them have never experienced before. And when you think about the last 5 years, right, and you think about all the things that all of us have lived through, it's not surprising that in 2022, the Collins Dictionary, like every dictionary, puts out a word of the year. And so in 2022, the Collins Dictionary word of the year was permacrisis. And they define permacrisis as an extended period of instability and insecurity, right? And so you have lived through this, you know what this feels like. I'm fascinated by how this affects the average person, right? That the idea that on any given day, some unknown crisis might emerge. Another conflict in another part of the world, a forest fire, a flood, an economic crisis that's going to make my life just a little bit more difficult. And so this is the context by which today most people in this country are evaluating what is happening, right? And thinking about both their political choices. It's happening in the United States tomorrow. It's going to happen likely in Canada in the next year. And all of this is being set around what I see as a new mindset in the public, one that's relatively new, one that my generation, New York Times calls me a geriatric millennial. I'm early 40s now. So if you're 40 or under, you have never really experienced a situation like this in Canada. And I call that a scarcity mindset, right? And what is a scarcity mindset? It basically means that the things that you need in your life, whether that be food, energy, housing, healthcare, over the last number of years have become harder to get, more expensive, and if you have it, say you have a family doctor and that doctor is in his or her 60s and may retire at any given moment, you're deeply concerned you're not going to be able to find a replacement, right? So we become very defensive about that. So I'm here today to talk about what does that scarcity mindset mean, not just for all of your businesses as you navigate what I think is a really challenging period, but how does it affect what might happen in the United States tomorrow, what might help affect provincial elections that we've seen, and also the federal political scene here in Canada. And I'm going to do that by sharing a bunch of data. And I'm a data nerd. I love data. I think there's value in understanding what people are thinking and feeling, right? Capturing the mood of the country, because if you know what people are thinking and feeling, if you can anticipate an unmet need and be the first one to meet it, right? Politicians are going to react positively, generally speaking, and you're obviously going to be ahead of your competitors when it comes to understanding it. So I want to start with the mood of the country. Pollsters like me have a question we like to ask. Do you think the country's headed in the right direction, or is it off on the wrong track? Right? And as of today, a survey we completed last week, only 25% of Canadians believe the country's headed in the right direction. And to give you context for why that number is incredibly low, in fact, perhaps historically low, I can take you back